It is the final day of 1944 when the B-17 Little Skipper slices through the gray European sky. At the controls sits Second Lieutenant Glenn Rojohn, with his co-pilot William Leek beside him. Their mission is clear, but deadly: fly into the heart of Germany and destroy vital oil refineries near Hamburg. As they approach the target, German flak erupts around them in violent, black blossoms. With every blast, the bomber shudders as if resisting the fate awaiting it. The scene ahead is grim. Flying fortresses are being torn out of the sky one after another, swallowed by the wall of anti-aircraft fire. Where Rojohn spots the trail of smoke marking the target, it's the cue to release the bombs. The formation opens its bomb bay doors in perfect synchrony, but the flak only intensifies. In the lead group, B-17 foes rush and takes a direct hit so brutal that it veers out of formation and collides with another fortress, cramps tramps. Both aircraft are ripped apart. Yet, against all odds, 6 parachutes emerge. The crew of the Little Skipper watches in disbelief. Their bombs drop in perfect sequence toward the earth below. The formation tries to escape, banking 180 degrees toward the safety of the sea. But another danger arrives almost immediately, German fighters rushing in like starving predators. A MiG-160 to jet tears through the formation with terrifying speed, too fast for any gunner to track. Then waves of Bf-109s and Fw-190 swarm in from all directions, turning the sky into a storm of tracers. The faithful forever, already battered by flak, takes another hit and can no longer remain airborne. Pilot Leo Ross keeps the aircraft steady long enough for his crew to bail out. Meanwhile, the remaining bombers struggle to reform amid the chaos. When hope seems to evaporate, American P-51s dive down like avenging angels, scattering the German fighters. But their escort can't last. They move ahead to defend fortresses farther forward, leaving the Little Skipper nearly alone over open water. The turbulence over the North Sea is so violent that the formation begins to break apart. Then comes the call everyone dreads: enemy fighters. Approaching again, German interceptors from coastal bases swoop down on the scattered, damaged B-17s. A frontal burst of fire strikes the 9 Lives, the bomber that should be leading Rojohn's aircraft. The pilots are killed instantly, though the engines keep the lifeless aircraft moving, climbing slightly because the yokes are trapped, pulled back by their fallen pilots. Rojohn edges the Little Skipper forward to fill the gap in formation, but something is wrong. The 9 Lives is drifting back toward him like a silent, uncontrolled giant over the radio. Nearby crews try to warn him, but the collision is unavoidable. The impact hits like a freight train. Leek's knees slam into the yoke. Rojohn is thrown off the throttles, and for a moment neither man understands what has happened. When they finally regain awareness, the truth is incomprehensible. The 2 B-17s are now locked together, fused in midair like a monstrous, 8-engine creature clawing its way through the sky. Underneath them, in the Little Skipper's ball turret, Gunner Joe Russo is trapped. The collapsing fuselage of the 9 Lives crushed his turret. Meanwhile, the ball turret gunner of the 9 Lives, Sergeant Woodall, manages to escape into his fuselage using the manual crank, but he can do nothing for Russo. The Little Skipper's crew can still hear Russo praying through the intercom, whispering his final Hail Marys as fire creeps closer. With one of the 9 Lives' engines burning and the 2 aircraft locked together, Rojohn and Leek fight a battle that borders on impossible. They brace their feet against the instrument panel to force the yoke back. They try accelerating, slowing, shaking. Nothing frees them. Rojohn knows that ditching into the sea means certain death. Their only hope is to somehow drag this impossible mass of wrecked metal toward land so the crew can bail out. Against all logic, the pilots manage to initiate a slow, dragging turn, a maneuver experts would later insist should not have been possible. With 2 bombers fused together, but the fire grows. Ammunition starts cooking off in the heat, sending 50 caliber rounds zipping through the air. Unpredictably, the moment they reach the coastline, German flak resumes, unwilling to miss such a target. Rojohn finally gives the order he never wanted to give: prepare to jump. Now, the crew tries desperately to free Russo, but the turret doesn't budge. Time is gone. One by one, they leap through the flames and smoke, leaving behind their friends still whispering prayers inside the crushed sphere of metal. On a coastal island, German soldiers watch the horrific sight of the twin bombers approaching. A Wehrmacht officer orders a ceasefire. He knows this is no longer combat, only the final seconds of a tragedy already sealed. Rojohn turns to Leek. This is his last chance to bail out. He orders him repeatedly to jump, but Leek refuses. He knows Rojohn cannot control the aircraft alone, without his weight and strength on the controls. Both men will die. I'm staying with you, Glenn. To the end. The ground rushes up. The 9 Lives hits first, obliterating itself and launching the little skipper forward like a thrown spear. The remaining bomber skips once, then crashes again and skids across the earth until it finally shatters to a halt. Silence. Then, impossibly, Rojohn and Leek are still alive. They crawl from the wreckage, bruised, bleeding, stunned, but breathing. Leek nearly lights a cigarette before a German soldier shouts at him, pointing at the fuel pouring over the wreckage, because Rojohn and Leek managed the unthinkable, turning defused bombers toward land. 6 men from the little skipper and 4 from the 9 Lives survived an event no one expected to leave any survivors at all. Rojohn later received a Distinguished Flying Cross, but he never boasted. Until his final days, he insisted, "Bill is the reason I'm alive today. I owe everything to him."